Hey people, Injured here, 53, Khatrin Purification plant, blue side. Couple of Ork players. First up is hfseid with a Kommando Nob, infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins range combat with a twin link shooter. Alongside eM7 with a Mekboy, a teleporting hero that fights in range combat. Lots of Orky gadgets for great versatility. And rounding us off is a blast from the past, very long time Dawn of War 2 player, one of the old guard. It's Lindonin with a Farseer support hero that fights in melee combat. Some powerful buffs, debuffs and control abilities. Sometimes the old fellas pop up now and then. On the red team, a bunch of Imperial Guard. First up is Boss with an Inquisitor, offensive hero with powerful control abilities. Begins in melee combat but can get specialized ranged weapons. Alongside RedRe Venge with a Lord General, fights in range combat. Begins with a retinue of stormtroopers, really strong defense and support. Can also add to this retinue. And rounding us off, GabrielGhostGamer with a Lord Commissar, strong offense and support. Fights in melee combat. Begins with a refractor shield. On the west side, looks like the red Imperial Guard team have taken the VP already. Orks are here to shoot stuff and ask questions never. A sneaky commando with a stun bomb now, tying up these guys in melee combat with an Orky headbutt there. Because why not? Sluggers are not capping. They're going to chop up some guardsmen. These fellas bad in melee. They don't want to fight anything, especially a dedicated melee unit like sluggers. Using their WAAAGH for a little speed boost there to chase. These sluggers did some good damage to a sentinel, it seems like. They are persuaded to leave though with 2 models. That's a pretty good return on the first engagement for a slugger squad. That much damage to a sentinel. I guess it's just going to be repaired now. But hey, they tried. East side, meanwhile, Howling Banshees in retreat. Looks like the Commissar, the Inquisitor, sorry, was pushed back somewhat. Might want to node this power though, blue team, before he gets taken. We've got some dire Avengers and a Guardian weapon team on the field for Lindonin. West side, Commando runs off. Had some fun though in the back lines. Sentinel's taking a bunch of damage, but does get away. The Mekboy with a death gun, just like clamped to his shoulder. But he's happy with it. What is this? It's double shooters against guardsmen. Not a good fight for the guardsmen, cover or not. And they only have light cover. They're being picked apart here. Shooters backing off. Saw the other guardsmen coming in maybe. There's the Farseer off the field. Got some Daka for the Inquisitor, who's gone for the crossbow bolt pistol, most likely in response to the Howling Banshees. She can use that to lock them in place and shoot them with all the las guns she's has. 423 to 500, 2-to-1 cap here for the red team. Got spotters on the way. You have Katachians up already for GabrielGhostGamer. Some looters, and some looters already up for hfseid. These guys with a death gun of their own to suppress you and fill you with holes. Pushing through the mid, are you Orks? It's kind of a dead zone, the mid, a bit, isn't it? You have the contested power there. Of course, it is a way to the VP. Big open place. Good for tanks to drive around in and try and support both sides. We have the Spirit Stones for Farseer. Spiritual Rights heal. 50 energy and 175 health. Bloody hell. We have more shooters on the way for hfseid. Really wants to destroy the Sentinel, I think. Double spotters, one for Boss and for RedRe Venge. And there's a mortar shell called in. Shooters have their Nob leader here. More DPS, more survivability, and a further DPS increase once they get to tier 2. It's a lot of las guns though. So lots of las guns. Not sure what this Mekboy was up to. Maybe trying to tie up the guardsman there. Runs into an Inquisitor though. Banshees trying to get on retreat path. So quick on their feet. But there's a Commissar to have a word. And have to flee. Working well in numbers here, the guardsmen pushing forward. That was a Hammer of the Witches to kill one of those Banshees there, I think. Starting ability of the Inquisitor. And as I've said many times, one of my favourite starting abilities, probably the favourite. Just a hard stun and damage that can't miss. Just no timing required really. Just cast it, just point it. That's a way to power bash, I suppose. Get as close as you can with the shuriken cannon. Not sure where the guardsmen have gone. This is Boss moving back over there. Just helping out in the mid a bit. What about teamwork, the Imperial Guard after all? These fellas, no further retinue members. They do have the VP though. And they have those spotters there to keep it that way for now. Doesn't look like we're going to see Storm Boys, but you never know. hfseid with lots and lots of Dakar. Triple shooters here. All with Nob leader, I think. Yes. Although, I don't see any big shooters in those squads. Commissar just spoiled for choice. What's he going to tie up? Gone for the looters here. Ouch. But that's what happens when you can't make it up to a suppression setup team in time. You take huge amounts of damage and die fast. Steal huge amounts of Dakar here. Smoke grenade from the Khatrin and then they flee to support ability. These guys going into melee. What are you up to, guys? These Orks are eager for a fight. Those guys ran off. It's working out for him. I thought we were going to see these guardsmen come around to support, but the Eldar's there to mop things up. All the way over from the east side, the Howling Banshees with the aspect of strength, as you'd expect against guardsmen. That heavy melee will help them poke the vehicles effectively. And there's a revive for the Farseer that gets to level 2. Meanwhile though, the undefended east side gets overrun. And the shuriken wiped out by an all-reliable grenade barrage from the Khatrin. A suppressed Inquisitor, thanks to the Death Gun mech. Or maybe it was aiming watch that from these guys. Need to run. They're going to die, and they do die. Some losses at the end of Tier 1 for the blue team. Lindonin already has a Warp Spider squad on the way. Boss goes Tier 2 now. Inside eM7 and Gabriel from either side will be the last to go. And that is the Aura of Discipline, healing those fellas up. Might suggest they want some Ogrins in Tier 2. Often paired with those guys. That was a Spiritual Rights heal. And Banshee's getting stuck in. There's the Exarch coming in with her heavy melee spear now. Maybe an Ork to support them as well, because there's a lot of las guns, a lot of things to shoot them at the moment. Got some improvised explosives. And we have more Dakar cast on some RedRe Vengers there from the Mekboy's global ability bar. Speaking of Dakar, tearing through some guards on Khatrin, trying to get close under the cover of the smoke grenade. Gives them some range resistance and suppression immunity. Not gonna last forever though. And that's an Orky shotgun for you. The special shooter. And then he dies, of course he does. A flank with a million lasguns and a sniper rifle. For fire on my target, giving him more range. Mekboy catches him, but now eats a grenade, gonna knock him over. Won't threaten him a huge amount in terms of damage, but stops him being set up for a second. Gets back over there though and teleports in for some more close range Dakar in. Looks like he's aiming at the guardsmen there mostly. Mortar shell coming in. Oh, it's a smoke shell. Messes up their range and their vision. Shooter boys capping the western edge. And there's a revive from your friendly neighborhood Mekboy. Is it going to level him? It should level him. There we go. You can grab that VP maybe. 318 to 437. Some messy fights from the Orks, but they're kind of making it work. And that's the Orky way. There's a webway here from Lindonin. And here are the Warp Spiders teleporting infantry with huge amounts of piercing DPS. And they have a haywire grenade to mess vehicles up. No vehicles on the field yet though. Double Stormtroopers for RedRe Venge. Assault kit on one, the other one just came out. Ready to roll some late Khatrin for boss, as you've seen. Sneaky Eldar shenanigans. These guys need to be quick with their shotgun blast. Not quick enough to save those guys. That was Hammer of the Witches. And here's the crippling volley. And say hello to double warp spiders coming in. Hell Fury strike though. Ouch, it's painful, those guys teleporting away. Look at the damage they're pouring onto that Sentinel. That is crazy. With some help from the Mekboy, of course. Got close to the death gun and goes down. Nice assist from eM7. He's quite depleted though. Just looters and sluggers. What happened to your shooter boys, fella? I obviously didn't see it. Here's some stick bombers on the way. 312 to 437. Lord Commissar getting stuck in with a power sword and does some work. Red team can take the Western VP. Hotshot las guns now getting suppressed, but not before the Mekboy goes down. They were too far away to be suppressed quickly, and that's some nasty DPS there. Level 3 Commissar. That wreck point's changed hands about 15 times already. That missed the Orks. Sluggers with their burners and their Nob leader are a massive threat to these Imperial Guard infantry. Tier 3 for Red and Boss. Stick bombs going in. Those are the stun bombs actually. You know it's stick bombs because they go through the air a bit quicker and they throw 2 at a time. Tried to grenade those sluggers, didn't quite pay off. Can they do some work though? Looks like they're going after guardsmen rather than stormtroopers, which is a little bit weird. A zap thrown in there from the weird boy of hfseid. Commando's down somewhere. Oh, right there. There's that weird boy. Sub-commander for Orks can deal huge amounts of damage in a big burst. Also some good support abilities. Banshees are still around, haven't leveled yet. Farseer with rune armor now. Weird boy on the way for eM7. A good response in general to massive infantry heavy armies. Lord Commissar now has the flak jacket. Shooters having a look. And they see las guns turn around. Commando level 3 being sneaky, might be able to get a big special shooter shot in. Smoke grenade goes up. And a stun bomb. That's a really good stun bomb. Doesn't have the energy for the shotgun blast now though. Sets up another stun from the weird boy who has Warpath ready. Can use it alongside the sluggers. Do some real pain. There's a shotgun blast, nicely timed. But the sluggers do get in. And they do mess stuff up. We've got some plasma guns in there I think. And some flamers. From Gabriel. Yeah, 2 squads of plasmas, 1 squad of flamers. Looks like the Orks on the west side are going to retake that VP. Been very fluid so far. Nobody's really been able to dig in. Power bashing from the double warp spiders. And now they've found some Khatachans to mess up. Doesn't have anything to spot these explosives though, I don't think. Oh, they've spotted this one. Maybe they spotted it going down. Maybe it wasn't finished. A bit weird. Warp spider shouldn't be able to see that stuff. Tier 3 now for the 2 Ork players and some Kassakin on the way for Boss. Shooters are fleeing. The west side is blue though. Sniper shots. Can they assassinate the weird boy? Look at the damage there. Huge amounts of firepower. Stun bombs miss. What about this east side? Are you going to push through to the power? Doesn't look like it right now. There's the remains of the Sentinel. Inquisitor with her servo skull. Used to be a default thing she just always had, but they turned it into a piece of war gear in Elite mod. Giving some sight radius and stuff. Can set up Manticore strikes with it, that kind of thing. Tier 3 all around now. And the Kassakin are on the field from Boss. There's some stick bombs. Followed up by Banshees charging, and that's nasty. And they flee. Saw a defensive buff there. It was stand firm. Might want to change to incoming to stop those stick bombs knocking you over. More stick bombs. Looks like they might mostly dodge, though not quite. Mostly though. Crippling poison staying relevant Locking stuff down in place, always really useful, it turns out. Stun bombs, oh, but no stick bombs after it. Oh, looks like one went in. One little stick bomb went in. And the Commando takes the west side, he's now level 4. Power bashing is a weird boy, and some burners from the Slugger boys. Here comes RedRe Venge. Oh, maybe not. Gabriel had enough to dissuade them from power bashing. Could be a nasty flank on the weird boy here. Khatrin in play with their default loadout, which is a bunch of hot shot las guns and some handy grenades. Might see one right here. Mech puts up the custom force field. There's a couple of grenades and down goes the mech. Webway on the west side now, sprinting out of it are some howling banshees. Look at the speed. Pretty crazy. Those Khatrin super died. That was painful. Was that a burner bomb that killed them? Looked like they all died suddenly. And I see fire there. And those are commandos. It all adds up. On the way now, a heavy weapon squad for Red. No, cancels it. I thought that was a good choice. Looks like I think maybe he wants a tank or something. Speaking of tanks, here's a looted tank. Ready to crush some guardsmen. Leman Russ being pulled in here by RedRe Venge. And that could be the end of the looted tank. Gonna get some rear armor hits. Deep in enemy territory. What is it doing? It's afraid of the Leman Russ, I think. Another one on the way for boss. It's gonna go down. Gets vision for a rocks though. Was that worth it? I don't think that was worth it. Killed some guardsmen, but who cares? Actually taken out by a rock, I think, in the end, the looted tank. Lindonin putting pressure on with the Doombringer. Couldn't get a decap though. Stick bombers leveled up for some reason. Did something good. D-cannon on the field for Lindonin. And as usual, taken to the contested VP. Stormtroopers here. Overseeing this capturing of wreck points. Look at that weird boy shot. So painful, almost wiped those guys out with some dapper. Warp spiders suddenly. Can they finish them off? They can finish them off. Just turn into bits. Those death spinners are nasty. 258 to 354. Can they deal with the tank though? Oh, they have a Nob squad. They can deal with the tank. There it is. Can they stop the Nobs? Maybe the Inquisitor can. Not a whole lot else. Maybe some cheeky grenades thrown in. Baneblade on the way for Gabriel, who is looking a little bit depleted here. 258 to 340. All the haywires on the Leman Russ. And Banshees are there. Who needs a Nob squad? You just need Eldar. That was Doom cast on the tank as well. Did not last long. Bogatus messing up the Nobs. That's one way to do it. And they flee. Been very solid so far, Lindonin. Look at the amount of stuff they are floating as well. Need to purchase something here. Very focused on that warp spider play at the moment. Level 2, both of them. The Banshees, level 3. They've quietly done their work, haven't they? They've sprinted into some nasty situations and got out of it. This is Boss's Leman Russ now. Avatar of Cain on the way for Lindonin. Nob squad are healing up. Are they getting... I don't see any upgrades for those fellas. Need some more power maybe. Weird Boys done well. They have done well. Usually you see these guys die before late game. But hey, they're alive. Do you have anything yet? Khatrin with no upgrades yet. Surely when they see the Nobs, they're going to get plasma guns or something. Grenade launchers are also great. It's up to the red team to push somewhere. Baneblade is up from GabrielGhostGamer, bristling with guns. But can it avoid the wrath of double haywires and Nobs and Banshees with their spear? Those guys just waiting for the stick bombs. There's Love the Dagger from the commandos. Usually you'd see the burner bomb cast first, and then things get knocked over inside the fire. Demolisher cannon, well timed. Oh, it didn't go off. I think he cancelled it by moving. Catachans, some late catachans for Gabriel and also for Red to help deal with the nobs perhaps. There's more on the way for eM7, but are they going to deal with an avatar? Super unit for Eldar provides some buffs for surrounded infantry and is very powerful in combat in its own right. Just hanging out so far. Sluggers moving in. Where's the Swampum? I don't see the Swampum. 8, a Hammer of the Witches, but they do get away. Holding up that little army there. And there's a repair bunker, I assume, at some point. Has the Baneblade shot anything yet? I don't think it's gone forward. Another D cannon for Lindonin. First one there healing up. There's still a web weight, so can get over there quickly, Lindonin. 258 to 236 is close on the VPs. But blue team are stacking their armies pretty high. And red team are up against it here, I feel like. Nob squad being dealt with though, look at that. Catachans doing their work. Now getting into some power melee on retreat. And there's a bunch of plasma there, and the Lehman Russell's getting shots in. West side, blue team are pushing to defend their VP. A little bit of a counter-attack against the red. Baneblade doing some work. Warp Vomit went in. Maybe the red team could overrun it, but there's still some pressure that they need to worry about in the mid there. Here comes the Eldar. That's a Wailing Doom from the Avatar too. And that was well hit. Is he going to follow it up? Nope, backs away. D cannon's getting shots in there, you see it. That nasty damage over time that they do. Oh, Widboy went down. I thought he was going to survive to the end. Actually got some knockdown with his death explosion. Usually it does nothing. The tank immediately shoots a Catachan's head off. Red team though, pushed enough to get the VP, I think. Or maybe not. Stick bombs will disrupt them. And there's a Nob squad. Warp Spider's just hanging out. Eldar just holding the mid for now. Maybe they should help the mid. Help the west side, I should say. Red team are fighting hard. There's a Manticore on the way for Gabriel. I thought they were starting to fade, but they're having a second wind here. Avatar looks at the Baneblade and turns around. Taking shots from the Vanquisher now. There's a Spiritual Rights heal, but the Banshees are down to 3 models. 258 to 200. The Avatar, with its super heavy infantry armor, is weak to plasma guns, which is the exact opposite of the tabletop, where I think it's immune to plasma and melter or something. Or at least it was. I don't know about in 8th edition. Commando now with his rocket launcher, and it's a pretty good one. Look at that for a burner bomb into a rocks. Looks like they're going to mostly avoid it though. It's a bit of a wasted nuke there. Does keep the Baneblade away, and they get the cap. 2 Nob squads here. Oh, this one runs away. Does have the Nob leader now. Banshees have to flee. Avatar needs to be careful, down to half hit points. Has a lot of them, but they're not going to last forever. Mekboy with his beamy death gun now. They both got their anti-vehicle weapons out here. eM7 down to sluggers and double nobs. Doesn't want to lose the Mekboy too. Oh, he just put more Dakar buff on him. Try and finish off the Lehman Russ, but couldn't quite get it done. I believe that lowers the cooldown of your weapons, I think. Rocket launcher trying to get a shot. Oh, shoots at completely the wrong thing, fella. And then took a shot from a Vanquish cannon and then goes down. Gonna need to repurchase, I think. Nob squad and sluggers tearing apart some stormtroopers there. Where are the Kashyyykin? They do have plasma guns now, okay. It's a lot of plasma DPS along Shadow's hotshot las guns too. And they like cap Farseer and stuff. 2-to-1 cap. It's up to the red team to push again. Can they find a third wind? Rocket run. They might be able to push the mid after this. Oh, that was a clutch heal on that D-cannon. It did live. Did they both live? Or no, the other one didn't. The weird boy that didn't perish. Level 3 now. Demolisher. Ouch. Bad news. And another Orks going on. Kicking off on the west side. All of a sudden, red team are pushing. The Orks didn't do a whole lot, but that's 2 Nob squads running at you now. Locked down by the crippling volley. Using their frenzy to tough out the damage. Now they're on their feet again. Disrupted by the Khatrin, I think, that time. But they're still going. Lots of plasma going in there. Purgatus dealt with again very well by boss. Look at the amount of abilities and damage they had to pour on there to 2 Nob squads to deal with them. But they did. Well done, boss. Baneblade backs away. Avatar also backs away. Also, the red team are going to get the 2-1 here. Gabriel is down to a Baneblade and a Manticore, and that is it. Got some more Khatrin. Also with plasma guns. They're set up to deal with Nobs now, aren't they? Because they have the Crippling Volley, Hammer of the Witches, and Purgatus. We've got Khatrin with their Disruption and a bunch of plasma. Set up very well to deal with Nobs. Warp Spiders get their natural back. And the Farseer has taken the red team's natural. Gets a knockback too on the Inquisitor. She's level 7, this Farseer. Maybe... Oh, gonna get Hammer of the Witches in your head. Gonna say maybe put Doom on the Inquisitor and try and kill her. But didn't work out. Here's the mech with his Mega Rumbler. There we go. Messes everything up. There's a Haywire. But nothing really to follow it up there. I thought he did that because the Nob squads were coming in or something. Bit of a waste and goes down so often that Mekboy goes down trying to use the Mega Rumbler. It can be incredibly powerful though, but had nothing to follow it up there. Strange usage by eM7. West side is still red. Manticores are shooting their rockets at something. Couldn't see what it was. Hey, love the Daka and Burner Bomb out of nowhere. And then they stop. The ground is still on fire. Here comes the double Nob squad. Trying to push through the mid, it looks like. Disrupted by, I believe that was a Khatrin grenade. There's the crippling volley. But they go after the Inquisitor. Purgatus goes off now. Been very disciplined with those abilities, boss. And there's the wall of plasma to deal with them. These guys coming out of base now. It was only 1 Nob squad, not 2. Sluggers doing some work with Swamp them up. Can't get on the VP though. That was a hell of a shot from the looted tank. Singularity is dodged. Eldar now sweeping through the mid. Set up to deal with the Nob squad. Are you set up to deal with this though? Haywire on the Leman Russ. Disables weapons and messes up movement. Very powerful. Banshees will try to get a decap now. 202 to 104. Avatars getting a little bit low. And I don't think this heals big old large targets. It says infantry there, so I assume not. Avatar's going to get away, and the Banshees did get a decap. Rocket launcher commando trying to face a tank head on. Not going to work out. Had some support from some guardsmen. Meanwhile, west side it was decapped, but the Imperial Guard are taking it back. 196 to 90. Single here for blue, but not for long. Going to be a 2-1 for red again, I think. There's a beamy looter. Baneblade is still alive. That's level 4 looters over here. Not good at fighting infantry though. There's the warp vomit. And a big old retreat. They can break the retreat though, the guardsmen, with the Commissar fellas. Which they're probably going to do. No? I guess not. Red's not interested in losing those guardsmen to break the retreat there. Some tank busters on the field now for eM7. Farseer pushing through the mid again, doing a good job putting pressure on, using the Spirit Stones to get revive, but hfseid was not paying attention and goes down and says sorry. Now a fire prism on the way for Lindonin and a battle wagon for hfseid. This could be a fun finish to the fight. Oh, the Farseer also went down trying to get that revive. Nob squad here, what are you going to go after, fellas? We have some suppression via a heavy weapon squad. Nob squad can break it with their frenzy. Uh-oh, that's a rocket run right in your face. Need to retreat, I think. Did those guys survive? They did. 3 hit points and they get away. The Nob squads have not done a huge amount here. Been dealt with very well. There's that Purgatus. Fire Prism doing its thing. And the Farseer, of course, can buff that with Guide to make the range insane. But she's down. Mekboy is spotted and taken out. And red team are going to get 2-1 again. They are keeping the pressure up now. You see them rolling through the mid. They don't want to invite Eldar pressure on them. So they're going to do the pressure. Just got to be careful not to overextend, especially when you have vehicles that can't retreat. Fire Prism does not want to get in range of this Vanquisher cannon. It's a bad fight for a Fire Prism. Just 500 hit points versus 1200 at level 1, and this thing's level 3 now. Running away are the commandos. Here's the battle wagon. Not sure how effective it's going to be all alone like this. Trying to run over some guardsmen maybe. Nope. It did nothing. And now it's backing away. I guess it's shooting its guns a bit. 119 to 80. There's the double cap now for the red team. Banshees on capping duty. It's a good tank buster barrage. Look at that. Well placed by eM7. But the Nobs weren't close enough to finish it off. Fire Prism is still around. This is a Leman Russ that is done for, I think. AY went in. A couple of Fire Prism shots and the Nobs are there to finish it with their heavy melee. What's the Avatar up to? He's healing. Healing up. West side. How did it all look? Did the battle wagon with a weird boy, but there's too many things here, fellas. I think they're right to push through the mid here. Eldar taking the scenic route. Are they going to bash power as well? There's only a node up. Sneaky commandos. Love the Daka. Didn't have the energy for a burner bomb as well, I don't think. And they stopped Dakering. Battle wagon has lost like 3/4 of the hit points already. Here we go, Eldar going for the VP. There's double improvised explosives there. That could be nasty for Banshees. Farseer is decapping. The explosive goes off, but maybe was she in retreat just in time? She didn't get knocked over by it. Judgment is up on the Fire Prism now. Boss doesn't feel like they need the crossbow bolt pistol around all the time, it seems. Avatar with the Wailing Doom doesn't quite hit flush, and they defend their natural. Meanwhile, west side, double Nob squad, battle wagon, some commandos in there too. Level 4, these guys. Again, the Nob squad just get bogged down and knocked over. Battle wagon's gonna die. A big Rocks is set up though. That might be the end of that Manticore. It's alive for now. And Eldritch on the Baneblade. Both of those vehicles survived. Amazing. Commandos got messed up. How did the Manticore live? Leman Russ got even lower. Desperation there from the blue team. Didn't quite have the numbers to pour in after those nukes. Wailing Doom is misplaced. There's another Rocks. There's been so many of them. None of them have really been amazing. I mean, that one was a great idea. Unlucky not to get one vehicle down, I think. Looks like the red team have it 16 to 80. The Imperial Guard are going to be victorious. That's a singularity, which is not going to affect Alien and Russ. The Guard went and did it, you guys. Level 10 Lord General here. Lord Commissar swapping out the Emperor's Wrath for the Aura of Discipline again. Manticore firing on the VP. They just dug in quite late. They dug in like halfway through tier 3, but they got it done. GG indeed. At the level 7 Commando. Level 4 Mekboy. The Farseer level 8. And we saw these fellas. What an awesome game. The ground is absolutely wrecked. But the Guard did it. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.